welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to do a little sit down video and talk about the 16 books that I want to read in 2026, or my 2026 TBR. For 2025, I ended up doing 15 books for 2025, and this is my reading journal. I'm looking at how many I have left. I think I still have 5 left. Here she is. But I don't know that I'm going to get to them because there's a few that are being transferred over to 2026, and then there's one that I've softy enough for now. So we'll see how much more I get done for this year. And I told myself that I want to read more in 2026, but also I just want to read better books, and I want to read books that are better quality and that I will enjoy and want to reread. Alright, so let me get started on showing you the books. I divided them into genres, and to be honest, there's some of them that have been on my shelf for so long, and if they don't get off this year, I might just have to donate them or sell them because at this point it's getting kind of ridiculous. And we're going to start with romance since it's right here. I've got all of them piled here, and this is one that's been on my list forever. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I feel like this blew up at least 2 or 3 years ago, and I got this one and the second one, and I've put it on my summer TBR every year since I got it and have yet to read it. And I don't know why. It's not one that I gravitate towards in the summer, but this year I'm at least reading or starting to attempt to read the first one, because that way I'll know whether or not I even want to continue the series, and I'll know if I want to donate the second one. Alright, so the next one is actually the 5th book in the series, and I think there's only one more that's coming out after, and it's the 6th book in the summer of 2026, and that's Heartstopper. So I feel like I've seen everybody and their mother read this graphic novel series and absolutely love it, and I think I just need to do like a dedicated video on me binge reading all of them and then watching the series. I think it's on Netflix, but it just seems so cute, and I've like flipped through them before and they just look so precious, but I wanted to save it and just do one read through of the whole entire series, and I feel like that would help me with my TBR and like also my goal for next year for the amount of books I'm reading, which we'll get to that at the end. But let's move on to the next book. So this is kind of like sticking with a summer theme. I don't know why I started with summer, but anyways, the next one is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and I read this year? Sorry, I had to pause to look up what it was called. That was embarrassing. But I read Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan in April of this year, and I liked it. It was good, but it wasn't anything special. So I've heard this one is a lot of people's favorite out of her backlist and all of her books. So I'm excited to read this one just because it seems as though this one is the best. And then I think this is the last romance that I have on the list, and it is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. And listen, I am a sucker for a good romance that involves like STEM or like any sort of science, because I am in that field, and I have only read The Love Hypothesis, which is kind of insane to me because I own quite literally almost all of her other books, yet I have only read the first one. So clearly I need to get on it. I need to read so many more of her books, and I've yet to do it. But anyways, this one is, I believe, YA, and it follows 2 chess players that obviously fall in love, but it just seems so cute. And a lot of times with romances, I actually like young adult romance better than adult romance. I don't know why. I think just like the yearning is so much stronger, and it's just so cute to me. I just love them. So this is another one on the 2026 TBR. Okay, so we're gonna move on to sort of general fiction slash fiction mixed with like other genres. But the first one in that is kind of mixing genres, I believe. It's The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. And I know this follows a teacher and one of her young students. And I believe there's some magical realism in here. I could be totally wrong, but I just think this is a really cute story and I feel like I will cry. And I'm learning that general fiction just makes me cry, and I don't know how I feel about that other than to love it and to continue reading them. So we're gonna read this one next year and see if I like it. My pile is growing over here of books that I'm putting. Okay, so this one's kind of ridiculous because I definitely think everybody on this planet has read Normal People by now. I have not. I still have not read it. I think I'm scared of it. I think I've heard too many bad things about it. And not even bad, just like it's very different than a traditional book. And I think that scares me because I'm the type to just like a classic story. I like the happy ending. I like those. However, I think my taste is maturing and I'm slowly starting to like the heartbreak and like the struggles of characters and seeing the negative side of characters, and I think this book very much is about that. And I'm really hoping that this is one of the first books I read next year, because if it's not, somebody needs to hit me. I've had this book so long. I need to read it. Okay, another one that is very like just sweet and I think just a comfort read for a lot of people is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I've seen this one everywhere, especially this past summer. I saw everybody reading it, and it was on my summer TBR for this year. However, I did not get to it, sadly. But I believe it's an older man that helps just kind of mentors six dangerous magical children. So I imagine that I will be again sobbing when I read this, because anything that involves like just caretaking and older people caring for like having new life to them because they have to be responsible for children or like pets or anything like that, absolutely sobbing, cannot control myself. So we will see about this one. Again, I'm very excited and I feel as though I might just get into all of TJ Klune's books, but we'll see. I'm going to do that one first. And then I needed to put at least one classic on this list because I own so many, but I have yet to read a lot of them. And one of them that I constantly have on my TBR is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Truly don't really know, other than the fact that it's just her telling stories about what this is. I think it's literally just her telling life stories and sort of like her journal entries, I believe. But I, again, just need to read. This one is so short too, and it's not that intimidating. I feel like a lot of classics are intimidating based off of how the writing style is, but we are going to read this one. I need to read one classic. Oh my gosh. Delilah scared the crap out of me. She might be making an appearance over there on the table. Oh, there she is. Okay, another one that was really popular this year, The God of the Woods, also in 2024, I believe. I read the Grace Year this year, and I feel like this is going to give very similar vibes as far as the mystery, the camp, the whole like what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. Let me figure this out. And it is hefty. So it's kind of scary because I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. I've heard it's a little bit slow to start, but I'm hoping I'll just push through it. I've constantly been checking the Libby audiobook out for this book, and I've yet to start the audiobook, but I think that would help me a lot in getting into this book and seeing what it's about. Girl, what are you doing? Okay, give me one sec. Whew. Alright. Apologies for the interruption. Delilah wanted a little midday snack, so the queen gets what she wants. This is my last fiction book on this list for 2026, although I imagine I will be reading more fiction this year in general. But last year I put down Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna on my 2025 TBR. Still have yet to read it, but my goal was to read at least one of her books, and I have yet to do it, sadly. But I am carrying that over to this year, and this time I've picked The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, mainly because I just finished watching Katie Wittrick's vlog for her top books of 2025, and this was her number one, and she just loves this book, and she made me want to read it purely on her reaction and describing it and like literally crying talking about this book. So I genuinely think I will love it, and if I don't, I still think it'll be a good story, and I just feel as though once I get into her books I will not be able to stop reading them, so that's also a little bit scary, but we're gonna see where that takes me. Okay, so now are my fantasy books that I want to get into for 2026. Some of these are continuations of series, others are starting new series, and the first one is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. And I read this series when I was in like 4th grade, so long ago, and I absolutely loved it. I just remember binging these books. I love them so much. I have no idea what they entailed. I totally forgot the entire plot of all of them. I remember some of the characters' names. Yeah, like Nico, Piper, Leo. I remember some of them. But I, this year, have been getting through the Percy Jackson series because my goal was to read those 5 before I get into these 5. And I'm currently on book 4 of the Percy Jackson series, so I am making progress on that. But my goal is to finish this series for 2026. We'll see if it happens, but at least I want to get to the first one, which means I gotta finish book 4 and 5 for Percy Jackson and then start this one. So this is one that I really want to get to. So the next 2 are ones that are duologies that I think I would get to like closer to fall time for next year, at least for this one. One Dark Window just gives me fall vibes. I really wanted to read it this year, but I did not get to it, sadly. But I just think with these, I want to read them back to back because they're duologies. I think it'll help me understand the story if I just continue it and do it in one go. I have a really bad habit of stopping series and then just never finishing them. So this year I want to do better at that, and that involves reading the duology together. So One Dark Window is on there, and then also the second one is Dance of Thieves. So this is again another duology. This was actually on my 2025 TBR. Sadly did not get to it, but that's alright. So I think I'll like both of them. They're both just like classic fantasy with romance subplots. I don't really know much else about them, to be honest. I try to just like pick up things that some of my favorite booktubers read, and like they have similar tastes, so I think I'll enjoy them. So those 2, hopefully I can just read the duologies. When I pick up the first book, I can just immediately go into the second book. That would be amazing. This next one, I own the entire series, which was so bad. I should not have bought the entire series before even reading the first one, but I did because the covers, the sides and the front are so pretty, and it's An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I know this book came out a while ago and they just did the covers again, but I simply could not resist when I saw how beautiful these were, so I ended up literally buying all of them, not in like a box set, but just when I saw it at the store, I was like, okay, let me just get the second one, let me just get the third and fourth, like, might as well, I already have the first, I'm gonna read it, but I have yet to read it, so your girl definitely needs to read the first one, at least this year, because if I don't even like it, and I bought the entire series, that's so unfortunate. So we're gonna work on reading the whole series this year, but if not, at least the first one. That way I know if I want to continue. Kind of mad that I did that, but also I might thank myself later when I want to binge the entire series. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of binging series, I have Kingdom of Ash on this list purely because I had it last year. This was on 2025 TBR, and I did not get to it, obviously. The behemoth of the book. Everybody loves this series. I have been loving the series. Unfortunately, I am only on book 5. So sad. I fear that Queen of Shadows might devastate me though. Like, I think that will be one of my favorite books of all time. And because of that, I stopped reading it after like 100 pages because I was like, let me just find the right time to read this. And unfortunately, I have yet to pick it back up. So I have 5, 6, and 7 still before I can get to this. But the other issue I had this year was instead of finishing this series, I decided to pick up ACOTAR. And I started ACOTAR in January, and then I didn't pick it back up till the summertime. But the issue is, I got the audiobooks, and I just absolutely binged the audiobooks the entire summer. Finished the whole series. Well, it's ongoing, but like I finished up to book 5, and I loved it, but I like everybody says that one's smutty and then this one's not, and that's very true. And that's like the thing. I loved the atmosphere of ACOTAR. I just did not like the smut part as much. But because this one is obviously not like that, I fear that I will love it. I fear that I will be just like all the other girlies and just want to read it and think about it and just love the characters and the atmosphere and the entire series. So that's why I'm scared to read it. I fear it will break me, but that's okay. We're gonna read it. I talked about wanting to read more meaningful, better books this year, so that is on the list. The final book on my list is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I actually got recommended this from my boyfriend, and he loved it. I am kind of scared. Once again, it's huge, but I just know Cassandra Clare is an icon, a legend. I've never read a Cassandra Clare book before, but I think I need to read this before I get into like the whole City of Bones series, because I have the first like 3 or 4 of those books, but I fear that is a lot to take on. So I'm just gonna do Swordcatcher. I know the second one is already out for this series. I do have it, and once again, I'm in the habit of buying stuff before I even. Oh my gosh, she's back. Oh, hello. Do you have something to say? Anyways, I have the habit of buying things before I actually finish the first book, but I will be reading that this year because if it is as good as my boyfriend says it is, I will be continuing the series, and I fear once again I will go into her whole backlist of books. Alright, so that is the last book. I also plan to put 60 books for my reading goal for this year. I put 60 for 2025. I fear I will not get to that. I'm at 46, I think, right now. So I've changed my goal to 50, and I think I did 50 last year, so I'm doing about the same every year, but next year I do want to read 60 if I can. That is the goal. Hopefully I can do it. Okay, you guys, so I think that's going to be it for this video. I am so sorry that Delilah's acting like a maniac right now. I don't know what are you doing? Hello? Do you want to just be on camera? Are you just the star of the show? Look at her. She's just the star of the show. She just wants to say hi. She just ate and her breath smells like fish. Anyways, I am going to end this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books and love them, hate them. Give me all the details because I am very heavily influenced, and if you say you love a book, I will immediately go to that book. So let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your holiday season, and I am looking forward to reading in 2026. I think it's going to be a great reading year, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Ma'am, do you want to explain why you crashed my video? Huh? Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's a hard night.